friends, I'm Erin, and this is Erin Go Live. This is going to be the first time I do a video like this on this channel. So this is going to be a vlog documenting a 2-week process of a fat loss phase. So first of all, I just want to put it out there to begin with. I am going to be talking about calories. I'm going to be talking about weight. I'm going to be talking about exercise, body image, numbers, that kind of thing. So if that's something that bothers you, that triggers you, this is not the video for you, and that's okay. If you're here for the ride, cool. I just want to preface everything with this is my body and how I feel best. If you are bigger than me, if you are the same size as me, if you look like me, if you look different than me, any of that, I'm not saying that you should look a certain way or that it's not okay to look a certain way at all. I feel like I have too much body fat for my personal self at this moment. And this was also, I'll get into this in a minute. This was also kind of purposeful. I just came off of a building phase where I kind of purposely gained weight for the purpose of building muscle. And in the process, gained some extra fat, which is to be expected. And so now this is the process of cutting that weight, getting rid of that weight. So I get back to the physique that I'm really looking for, with hopefully some added muscle mass. I am not a doctor. I am not a registered dietitian. Nothing that I say is medical advice, or I am not your nutrition coach. So what is going to work for me and my body might not be the right thing for you specifically. I will be talking about the general basics of fat loss and the science behind that, of exercise science, of just the tips, tricks, tools, that kind of thing in order to do what I'm about to do. So a little bit of background. So this is going to be a 2-week aggressive fat loss phase. I say phase because you shouldn't always be pursuing fat loss. That is not a healthy state for your body to be in. It's also not sustainable, and you're going to have that roller coaster situation, the yo-yo, on the wagon, off the wagon, that kind of thing. People trying to be losing fat all the time is usually what their problem is, rather than having periods of maintenance where you're purposely maintaining your calories, the idea to maintain your weight, and then going into a specific period of time where your goal is fat loss is much more sustainable. So what this looks like, kind of the background on this, is that I was in a building phase where the purpose was I was eating more calories than my maintenance. Sorry, my dog's whining. I was eating in a surplus of calories for the purpose of building muscle. Okay, you have to have, right? You can't build a brick wall with just the manual labor. You need the bricks, right? So in order to build more muscle in my body, we increased my calories. I say we because I have a coach. Even though I am a coach, I have a coach. It's easier to have somebody, that objective person there, making decisions that don't have to do with emotions. It's also nice, I'm thinking about everybody else's nutrition and fitness, and it's nice to be able to just execute the plan rather than coming up with my own plan as well. So I was in this building phase. I put on 3 pounds of muscle since November, which is amazing, especially for someone with the extensive training history that I do. But I also put on like 6-7 pounds of fat. And that was largely due to the fact that I have a couple injuries going on. So I have a high hamstring injury, and I have an oblique pull right now. And so it's affected my ability to train as hard as I would like to. And we've actually cut this building phase short by 2 weeks. And so now it's time to just stop that, move into the fat loss phase. So what you're going to see in this video is the first 2 weeks. It's going to be an aggressive fat loss phase where we're cutting my calories by 500 before a trip. Welcome to my treadmill. Welcome to my new life for the next 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, it's kind of like nose to the grindstone, and we're going to be doing what we would call an aggressive cut, okay? So we're cutting my calories by 500 from where I was in the surplus down to where I'm going to be in this deficit. We're also increasing my activity level. So I was averaging about 8,000 steps a day. Now my steps have gone up to 11,000 steps a day. And that's an average, right? So I'm going from a weekly average of like 60,000, 56,000 steps a day to 77,000 steps, or a week rather, 77,000 steps a week. So, you know, I might get 14,000 steps one day and 8,000 steps another day. I'm looking for a weekly total of about 77,000 steps. Hence, I'm on the treadmill right now and it's 6:30 in the morning. So I actually just finished a call It's Wednesday morning. I have a 6 a.m. my time, Pacific time, Zoom meeting with my nutrition coaching team. And normally I do that one from my comfy chair in my living room, but new goals means new actions. And so I can easily take that call from the computer, from the treadmill rather. So fortunately I have a treadmill at my house, so no big deal. So what I'm going to do next is actually going to give you kind of like a stats and physique kind of update, or like where we're starting off. Okay, so how much do I weigh? I got a scan a few days ago, so I know like my body fat percentage, my lean muscle mass, all that kind of stuff. And I'll get into like basically like running shorts and a sports bra, and kind of do like a physique starting point. And then we'll see where I get in 2 weeks. And then further along in this cutting process, we can kind of do more updates in the future. All right, so this was March 1st. This was my starting day. I am 5'1", and I was 135.6 pounds on day one. So I'm on my way to a weekly breakfast before a business networking meeting that I have every week, and I always get the same thing. I often do that at restaurants. I find one thing that I like, and I stick with it. I've literally never ordered anything different from this restaurant. It's really good, and it gives me like the nutrients that I need. So it is a chicken fajita omelet and then I get home fries, and a cup of fruit. And so what I'll do with this, and kind of this always depends on my calories. So one thing is I track it. I created a meal for this in my tracker because it's something that I eat on a regular basis. So rather than having to put all the individual ingredients in each time, I just have it saved as oak leaf cafe chicken fajita omelet. And so all I have to do is put that in. And it gives me, I want to say like 60 grams of protein. And so depending on just kind of like what my calories are and what the day is going to look like, I'll either eat the whole thing if I can, or I'll eat half of it. So because I have lower calories right now, I'm going to purposely only eat half of it so that I have the second half of it for lunch. So I'll basically be having, roughly 30 calories, 30 grams of protein per serving, per half of this. And it's going to be about 400 calories or so for breakfast, 400 calories for lunch. And that's going to give me plenty of calories left for another like snack and dinner. So it's always important when you're in a fat loss phase like this to kind of look not just meal by meal, but look at the whole context of the day. So you're going to have enough calories, you're going to have enough calories to get the protein that you need and at the end of the day. So plan out your day ahead of time is my number one recommendation for really anybody who has a specific physique goal in particular, because otherwise you're being really reactive. And then if you don't plan it ahead, how do you know what you're going to have to eat later on in the day, like what you're going to have left over? So when I first started doing this, I would end up at the end of the day, it's like I need 40 more grams of protein, but I only have like 215 calories left. And so then it gets really hard to do. I'm also probably not going to be very satisfied at the end of that. So planning it out ahead of time, having an idea of what you're going to do. And it can always change. You can always make adjustments, but having a starting point is really helpful for being able to have a successful day. All right, so I just got a really exciting message from one of my clients. She's down like 40 pounds, 42 pounds at this point, which is incredible. She's been doing the work, but the most important thing that she's doing, and the reason that she's been as successful as she has, and the reason that I believe she's going to continue to be successful and ultimately maintain her success, is the mental piece, the mindset that goes with it. And this is the perfect example. So she sends me a message that basically she'd had a really emotional week, and she found herself being drawn to Sonic. Then she remembered in conversations past that we've had, she was feeling something that made her want something in the moment. But that was very different from what she truly wants. Because what she truly wants is her goal. What she truly wants is the reason that she hired a coach in the first place. And if she goes with the momentary feeling, if she wants what she wants in that moment, based on what she's feeling in the moment, which is completely opposite of what she truly wants, she's going to feel worse both mentally and physically. And so she drove past Sonic. She went to her destination and ate the food that she had prepared. Now, a couple things that went into this to make this actually successful. One, we had this conversation before where we know that emotional times are going to come up. You're going to have a bad day. You're going to have stressful times. You're going to have stuff is going to happen in life that's going to make you feel not like yourself, and it's going to make you reach for comfort, okay? Like, emotional eating is a thing, and she's been down that road before. So we had talked about this beforehand, and what are you going to do when this comes up? And part of that is that remembering what you truly want versus what you want, what you're feeling, what you want in the moment. The other part was that she had prepared ahead of time, so she had food that she could go eat. She had stuff packed with her in her car so that when she got to her destination, she could eat exactly as planned. And it wasn't a choice then she had to make. Like, what she was going to eat next wasn't a choice. It was executing the plan. And that was kind of like the backside of that. So then I asked her, like, first of all, like, huge win, great job, like, I want to give you a hug. But also, I was like, okay, so you didn't comfort eat, but what did you do to cope? And she said she went to her, I think she was going to work. And she went to work, she went into her office alone, closed the door, and took a few deep breaths, and just, like, sat alone for a few minutes before she engaged with anybody else. So she kind of took some time to process and be with her own thoughts and feelings for a few minutes, doing some breathing exercises, and then she was able to engage and kind of go into work mode. So, like, huge props to her, and I'm just so excited for her transformation, because it is truly a holistic transformation. It is truly body and mind. This is not going to be a flash in the pan before and after where she looks good for the after photo. No, she's going to live in her after body for a long time. All right. I work out of a co-working space. So it's basically a big office. People rent private offices, and then the main space is just a big room with a bunch of desks, and people sit there and work. We all do different things, but there's lots of collaboration and social things that we do together, stuff like that. So we have a kitchen, and oftentimes people will bring in leftover baked goods, or there's an event in our event space, and then we get food brought up or whatever, and so it's really common for us to have food in there. And so I go in there today, and there's a box of cookies, and I'm a huge cookie, I won't say addict, but fan. I'm a big fan of cookies. Now, I've been in a building phase these last few months, and so these last few months I've had the calories to give. And so if I see cookies, if I see something like that I want, as long as I want it, I could have it, and I just track it, and it's just part of my day. It just means that, all right, if I have 2 cookies, it just means I'm going to have less rice with dinner or whatever, right? Those calories are going to come from somewhere, but I had the calories to give. Now that I'm in this cut right now, I don't have any calories to give. I know exactly what I'm eating today, and there are no extra calories. So my eyes, like, I saw the cookies, I processed that they were there, but immediately, like, there was no actual temptation, because I have a plan, I'm executing the plan, there is no deviation from that, just whoop, like ducks, like water off a duck's back, right? It's just, nope. So both my experience just there with the cookies and my client's experience with the food that she had prepared ahead of time that she ended up eating comes down to this saying that I'd come up with quite a long time ago, back when I was doing a lot of endurance training. And it is: make plans, not choices, execute the plan. So like I was talking about particularly with my client, we make plans based on what we truly want. We make plans based on our goals, right? So maybe on Sunday, you look at the week coming ahead, and let's say you have a weight loss goal, then you're planning like, all right, I'm gonna, go on a walk every lunch hour. I'm gonna go on a 20-minute walk during my lunch break every day this week, and I'm going to, I'm gonna pack my lunches all week long, okay? So maybe that's like your plan for the week. That's based on the thing that you truly want, which is that weight loss goal. If you make choices, that choice would be, you see the cookies in the break room and you want the cookies, you feel like you want the cookies in the moment, so you make that choice based on what you're feeling in the moment rather than the plan that you had set for yourself. So make plans, not choices, execute the plan. So both myself and my client today, those are examples of having a plan and executing the plan. Don't let your feelings make choices for you. So it is now Sunday, March 5th. I believe the cut began on Tuesday, officially. I'm on my period. I started my period like that day, the day that the cut started. So I'm only down like half a pound since then, but I'm on my period. So there's water retention. It's hard to make any sort of judgment about weight on the scale during your period, right around your period. So I'm doing the right things. I'm keeping my activity high. I've got my average 11,000 steps a day, and I've got my calories are at 1,515 calories. I'm hitting those marks. So this is where you gotta just buckle down. Don't worry about the scale. Just be consistent, show up, do the thing that you're supposed to do, and it will pay off in the end. All right, so I want to show you a really common meal that I make for myself because I can make it ahead of time. It's easy to take with me, and that is overnight oats. So I made these last night. One of the ways I like to think about, how can I bless my future self? If I already have energy, if I'm already up on my feet in the kitchen doing something, how can I bless my future self that might have less energy, less willpower, right? So we're not having to rely so much on willpower, and we just kind of find places to remove the friction. So preparing things ahead of time when you're already working in the kitchen is a really good way to do that. So this is what it looks like here. Try not to dump it out on you and from the side, but I'm gonna show you what I put in it. So you could use regular oats. In this case, I have used Kodiak Cakes oatmeal. This has additional protein in it. So this is 12 grams of protein. These are the individual packets. So each packet is 190 calories with 12 grams of protein. So I think that's about an extra 7 grams of protein per serving, which is gonna add up. Then I use either one packet of that or half a cup of regular oats. Then I use a half a cup of 0% Greek yogurt. In this case, because I'm in a fat loss phase, I want the calories to be lower, I'm using 0% Greek yogurt. If I wanted more calories, I would use 2% or even 5% Greek yogurt to bring the calories up. So the same amount of volume of food would have more calories if it's a higher fat percentage, fewer calories with 0%. Then what else do I use? Then I use powdered peanut butter. This is PB2. So this gives you, for 2 tablespoons, it's 60 calories, and you get 6 grams of protein. So again, these little protein numbers are adding up. Then I use kind of you gotta wet your whistle there. Half a cup of, I use either the Planet Oak unsweetened original, which is like 45 calories per cup, and I'll use half a cup of this, or Silk Oat Milk Zero is the other one that I use. And this one was on sale 2 for $7. So I buy whichever one of those is on sale or is cheaper at the moment. So half a cup of oats or the packet, half a cup of Greek yogurt, half a cup of oat milk, or whatever milk your choice is. If you use like cow's milk, you would actually add some more protein through there. I just can't tolerate it very well. And then that's like the base, and then you would add your flavorings, right? So PB2, some peanut butter flavoring. I add a dash of, where's the front? A dash of vanilla. I'll add, or a splash of vanilla and a dash of cinnamon. Then I add about 15 grams of sliced almonds. A little bit of fat in there, a little bit of protein as well, but also nice crunch. And then I just use some fresh berries. So this is just a mix of strawberries and blueberries. Cut those up, stick it in there, and then that's gonna give it a really nice, between the berries and the nuts, it's gonna really give it a nice texture. And that is a really common meal for me. So this one, I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to eat at home today or if I was gonna have to pack this to go. And so it's super easy to take with me to eat on the run. Great thing about overnight, I think one of the great things about overnight oats is you eat it cold. So you don't have to worry about having some place to warm it up. All I need to do is make sure I have a spoon. So this is editing me realizing that I didn't really end this vlog. So I'm gonna end this with basically the physique update before I left for the trip. You know, the pictures to relate to the pictures at the beginning. And that was basically how I left for my trip and my diet break trip where I just get to eat not whatever I want, but essentially whatever I want, eat intuitively and just enjoy myself on my trip. So now this is day 12, morning of day 12. I'm 133 even, lost 2.6 pounds. All right, so that 2.6 pounds was actually really good for 2 weeks time. Now, you know, a little bit of that water retention from my period is also going to factor into that, but it was a really good start to this fat loss phase and, you know, enables me to go off onto this trip, take a little bit of a 4-day break after that kind of intense 2-week cut, and then I'll go into the next part of this fat loss phase, which won't be quite as intense and will be much more sustainable for a longer period of time. Let me know if you have any questions about anything I talked about in this video. Thank you for watching. Remember, every day is a great day for a great day, all day.